There's a moment captured on video where one of the biggest pop stars on the planet skips the champagne, skips the lavish party, and instead fries an egg. That's not a metaphor. It actually happened. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why that simple, humble dish means more to Lisa than almost anything else on a menu. We're talking about Lisa, rapper, dancer, and global ambassador for Blackpink. And today we're doing something a little different. Not her music, not her fashion, not her real estate, just food. What she actually eats, the dishes she grew up on in Thailand, the meals she reaches for when she's homesick on tour, and the surprising mix of street food and fine dining that shows up again and again whenever she talks about what she loves to eat. This isn't speculation or fan guesswork pieced together from blurry photos. Everything in this video comes from interviews, official brand collaborations, variety show appearances, and moments she shared herself on her own platforms. So, let's start where her relationship with food actually began, long before the world knew her name. Section 1. Roots. Growing up in Buriram. Lisa, born Lalisa Manoban, spent much of her early childhood in Buriram, a province in northeastern Thailand known less for tourism and more for its food, its football culture, and its close-knit communities. Long before she was training in Seoul or performing for stadiums full of fans, she was a kid in Buriram, eating the same home-style dishes that generations of Thai families have grown up on. This matters because so much of what Lisa talks about when it comes to food isn't really about food at all. It's about home. Multiple interviews and brand campaigns over the years have circled back to the same theme. When she's asked what she misses, what she craves, what she'd eat first if she went back, the answer is almost always something tied directly to Buriram or to Thailand more broadly, and that's where her food story really starts to get interesting, because it isn't just nostalgia. As we'll see later in this video, Lisa's relationship with Thai food has had real, measurable effects on small businesses back home. Vendors, market stalls, entire local economies. But we'll get to that. First, let's talk about the dishes themselves. Section 2. The hometown favorites. If there's one dish that comes up more than almost any other when Lisa talks about home, it's a humble street food staple: deep-fried, grilled meatballs, often served with a tangy dipping sauce. She's spoken about this dish in interviews as a favorite tied directly to memories of street food in Thailand, and she's specifically named it as her favorite dish from her hometown of Buriram, the kind of thing she says she'd want to eat first if she ever went back to her home province. It's worth pausing on that for a second, because it tells you something about her palate. This isn't a refined, plated, restaurant-only dish. It's the kind of food you'd find from a cart on the side of the road, eaten standing up, probably a little messy. For someone whose public image is built around glamour and high fashion, that's a pretty grounded answer. She's also consistently named Pad Kra Pao, Thailand's famous stir-fried holy basil dish, as one of her enduring favorites. A dish so iconic in Thai cuisine that it's often considered close to a national comfort food. And when she sat down with fellow artist Youngji on the Korean variety show No Prepared Table in 2024 and was asked for a Thai food recommendation, she pointed to Kor Moo Yang, thinly sliced grilled pork neck, served with a sweet and spicy dipping sauce. Another dish that leans more toward what locals actually eat than what tourists are told to order. Then there's a moment that didn't even happen in Thailand, but still made headlines back home. During an appearance with the brand Coach Golf in London, Lisa lit up while describing Hat Yai fried chicken, a southern Thai dish, calling it the most delicious thing on the menu. That one offhand comment, made thousands of miles from Thailand, was enough to send a regional dish trending internationally almost overnight. It's a pattern you'll notice throughout this video. Lisa doesn't need a big campaign or a sponsored post to make people pay attention to Thai food. Sometimes all it takes is one sentence, said with genuine enthusiasm. But if there's a single dish that captures her connection to home more than any other, it's not a street food favorite. And it's not something she's named in a quick interview soundbite. It's a dish she made with her own hands, on camera, in a moment that quietly became one of the most talked about food clips of her career. Section 3. The egg that broke the internet. In November 2023, Spotify celebrated a massive milestone. Lisa's single Money had officially crossed 1 billion streams. making her the first solo K-pop artist to hit that number on the platform. Most artists might celebrate a milestone like that with a party, a press release, maybe a champagne toast in a recording studio. Lisa cooked in the celebration video. She headed to a kitchen setup and prepared what she called her favorite Thai dish, kai jiao, a Thai-style omelet made with minced shrimp. Then, in a detail that fans still bring up years later, she didn't just plate it normally, she ate it directly off her actual Spotify Billions Club trophy. It's a small, almost playful gesture, but it said a lot. Here was a global pop star, at the peak of a massive career achievement, choosing to celebrate not with extravagance, but with a dish her own family might cook on a regular Tuesday night. She followed it up with a favorite dessert, itim kanom, a coconut-based sweet treat, rounding out the meal the way a home-cooked Thai dinner often does, with something cool and lightly sweet to finish. What happened next is where this story stops being just a cute celebrity moment and starts being something genuinely remarkable. After the video was released, kai jiao started trending on Thai social media, and news outlets reported a real increase in sales for the dish, including at a specific omelet stall in the Dindang market in Khon Kaen, where the vendor had previously been preparing only a handful of eggs a day before suddenly seeing a surge in customers. That's not influencer marketing. That's not a paid partnership. That's just what happens when Lisa mentions loving something. People listen, and they go looking for it themselves. It's a phenomenon that would repeat itself again and again over the following years, and we'll come back to it later in this video. But first, there's another side to her food story that fans specifically asked for. What does she actually miss the most when she's away from home for months at a time? Section 4, the dishes she misses most. Touring life is by nature disconnected from home. Different time zones, different hotel rooms, different cities almost every week. So in October 2024, when Lisa partnered with the oral care brand Dentiste on a promotional video, the concept itself was telling. Rather than focus on red carpets or stage outfits, the video centered entirely around the Thai dishes she said she missed most while away. In that video, she went through 5 specific dishes one by one. Mu Tod Pla Ra, Yum Mam Wang Keng Som Chawm Kai, Kai Luk Kui, and Nam Kaeng Sai. Let's take those one at a time, because for international viewers, these names might not mean much without context, but each one represents a different, distinct piece of Thai home cooking. Mu Tod Pla Ra is fried pork prepared with a fermented fish sauce marinade, a deeply savory, distinctly Thai flavor that's hard to replicate outside the region. Yum Mam Wang is the green mango salad we touched on briefly earlier, a sharp, sour, and spicy dish made from julienned unripe mango, seasoned boldly with chilies and fish sauce. Keng Som Cha Om Kai is a sour curry made with chicken and cha om, a slightly bitter, distinctly flavored leafy vegetable common in central Thai cooking. Kai Luk Kui refers to a style of stuffed, deep-fried egg dish, savory, rich, and often nostalgic for anyone who grew up eating Thai home cooking. And Nam Kaeng Sai is a Thai-style shaved ice dessert, typically topped with sweet syrups and fruit. The kind of treat associated with hot afternoons and casual. No frills dessert stands. What's notable about this list isn't just the variety, it's that none of these are particularly flashy, Instagram-ready dishes. They're not the kind of food you typically see featured in glossy travel content. They're comfort food in the truest sense. The dishes you crave specifically because they remind you of a place, not because they look good on camera. And remember that green mango salad we mentioned a moment ago? It actually has its own viral footnote. At one point, Lisa posted an Instagram story simply captioned "green mango salad," sent directly from Thailand, and the response was significant enough that mangoes reportedly sold out as fans rushed to try making the dish themselves. It's a recurring theme by this point. Mention a dish, and somewhere, a local market feels the effect within days. But it would be inaccurate to suggest Lisa's diet is exclusively Thai comfort food. After nearly a decade living and working in South Korea, her food preferences reflect that history too. Section 5. Life in Korea. A second food identity. Lisa moved to South Korea as a young teenager to train with YG Entertainment, eventually debuting with Blackpink in 2016. Nearly a decade of living in Korea has left its own mark on her food preferences, and fans have picked up on it consistently over the years. Among Korean dishes, she has specifically and consistently named gamjatang, a hearty pork backbone stew, as her favorite Korean comfort food. Often described by Koreans themselves as a kind of soul food, the dish you turn to after a long day or a rough week. It's spicy, rich, and meant to be shared at a table, eaten slowly over the course of an evening. A very different eating experience from a quick street food snack. Then there's a dish she's shared more directly, kimchi fried rice. Lisa has posted her own version of the recipe, which uses ham, cream, and cheese to create a milder, creamier take on the traditionally spicier dish, a version that reportedly went viral in Korea after fans tried recreating it themselves and found it surprisingly delicious. It's a small but telling detail. Rather than simply eating dishes other people made for her, she's shown enough genuine interest in cooking to actually develop and share her own variation. And for fans who associate Lisa with a certain love of spice, there's one more confirmed detail that tends to delight people. She's known for buying and enjoying Bulldog Ramen, the intensely spicy instant noodle brand that's become something of an international phenomenon in its own right. So, between Thai comfort food and Korean comfort food, you already get a fuller picture of someone whose food identity is shaped by two countries, not one. But there's a third layer to this story, and it might be the one that surprises international fans the most. Section 6, the surprisingly unglamorous side. For all the talk of Thai street food and Korean stews, Lisa's food preferences also include something a lot more universally relatable: simple, indulgent comfort food that has nothing to do with cultural heritage at all. In a past interview, she named French fries as one of her favorite food items, specifically calling out truffle fries as her preferred version. And she's been photographed on multiple occasions enjoying pizza in cars and waiting rooms between commitments, the kind of grab-and-go comfort food that fits naturally into an unpredictable touring schedule. Far removed from any sense of culinary tradition, there's also a charming international detour worth mentioning. During a UK-based appearance tied to a wellness and spa brand, Lisa was filmed trying a distinctly British food item, a sausage roll, often associated with the bakery chain Greggs. It's a small, almost throwaway moment in the broader scope of her career, but it reflects something fans appreciate about her: a genuine, visible curiosity about food wherever she happens to be. Rather than rigid pickiness, this casual relationship with food extends to how she's talked about diet and body image, too, and it's worth addressing directly, because it's refreshingly down to earth. Lisa has said in interviews that she doesn't follow a strict or restrictive diet. Instead, she's credited her demanding dance rehearsals as effectively functioning as her primary form of exercise, and has said that rather than cutting out foods she enjoys, she focuses more generally on portion awareness. In an industry where idol diets are often scrutinized intensely, that kind of openly relaxed approach, rooted in physical activity rather than restriction, stands out, and fans have generally responded to it warmly. But comfort food and casual cravings are only one part of the picture. There's also a side of Lisa's food world that looks completely different, refined, celebrated, and occasionally Michelin-starred. Section 7, from street food to Michelin stars. Lisa's food story isn't just about nostalgia and comfort. She's also been connected to some of the most celebrated, critically recognized restaurants in the world. And what's interesting is how naturally her appreciation for high-end dining sits alongside her love of humble street food, rather than replacing it. In Thailand, she's joined celebrated street food chef Jay Phai in celebrating the restaurant's 7th consecutive Michelin star, a legendary Bangkok institution known for crispy, golden crab omelets and stir-fried noodles with seafood. It's a striking detail because Jay Phai is in many ways the perfect bridge between Lisa's two food worlds. It's a street food stall technically, open air, unpretentious, that happens to have earned some of the most prestigious culinary recognition in the world. She's also been linked to the Marc restaurant by Jean-Georges in New York, departing the Marc Hotel after attending the Met Gala, showing a comfort moving between both ends of the dining spectrum depending on the occasion. And then there's a location tied directly to her acting career. While filming her role on HBO's The White Lotus in Thailand, Lisa spent considerable time at the Four Seasons resort Koh Samui, where the season was filmed, giving her, by extension, an extended stay surrounded by some of the most refined Thai hospitality and cuisine available. Blending her on-screen work with her real-life connection to Thai culinary culture, it's a genuinely rare combination. Someone equally comfortable eating grilled meatballs off a street cart in Buriram and sitting down at a restaurant with multiple Michelin stars. And if anything, that range is exactly why her influence on food trends has become so significant. Which brings us to the final piece of this story. Section 8. The Lisa Effect on Thai Food Culture. By now, you've probably noticed a pattern repeating throughout this video. Lisa mentions a dish, and somewhere in Thailand, real people start feeling the effects. Meatball sales rising in Buriram, an omelet vendor in Khon Kaen suddenly busier than ever. Mangoes reportedly selling out after a single Instagram story. This isn't an exaggeration or fan hyperbole. It's become enough of a recognized phenomenon that Thai media and tourism officials have started referring to it directly. In recognition of this influence, the Tourism Authority of Thailand officially named Lisa their Amazing Thailand Ambassador for 2026, a role that formally acknowledges what fans and local vendors had already been experiencing informally for years. That her genuine, unscripted enthusiasm for Thai food and culture translates into real attention and real economic impact for the people behind it. It's a meaningful detail to end on, because it reframes everything we've covered in this video. This isn't just a list of foods a celebrity happens to enjoy. It's a window into how deeply Lisa's identity remains tied to where she came from, and how that connection, expressed through something as simple as what she eats, has had a tangible ripple effect on small businesses and local communities thousands of miles from any stage she's ever performed on. So, what does Lisa actually eat? The honest answer is almost everything, with genuine enthusiasm. Grilled street meatballs from her hometown, a simple shrimp omelet she'd choose over champagne, Korean stew that feels like home after years living abroad, truffle fries and pizza grabbed between flights, and, when the occasion calls for it, some of the most celebrated tables in the world. What ties it all together isn't luxury, and it isn't image. It's a consistent, well-documented sense of comfort and identity. Food that connects her back to Thailand, to Korea, and to the ordinary moments most fans never get to see. If you enjoyed this deep dive, let us know in the comments which dish you'd most want to try yourself. And subscribe if you'd like more carefully researched looks into the everyday lives of your favorite K-pop stars.